I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on. I'm taking my freedom.
Hey you guys, and welcome back to my video. I'm going to be talking and doing my hair in this video just so you guys can know in advance. Amen. Now this video right here is all about what is my expectations when it comes to dating. What are the things that I will not tolerate and the things that honestly don't bother me the older that I get. Now, I'm going to say this. I feel like there is a big difference. Get out. I feel like there's a big difference between expectations and standards. I do want to point that out, that there is a huge difference, and maybe I'll do a video on that another day, but there is a big difference. I feel like when it comes to expectations, it's pretty much the best way to break that down is what do you expect for the other party or the other people to do or act. Does it make sense? And when you think of standards, I want you to think of what you are not going to stand for or what you stand for. That is the best way to put it. So when you think of expectations, those are pretty much things you expect for your partner to be, right? So for me, I realize that the older that I get, my expectations are very low, but my standards are high. And I think what happened is when I was younger, my expectations was high and my standards was low. And I can be completely honest. And this is just an example. When I was younger, I expected a man to, call me. I expected him to, always be the most accomplished. I expected for him to just do, anything that you could think of a 20-year-old could expect for a man to do. But I also feel like you got some expectations that are not that big when you think about it, and it's not that hard for most men to do. And we're going to get into that too. Let's dive in. I realize as I get older that you cannot expect for someone to be identically what you want. Because people, as I get older, I realize people are people. People are going to surprise us. And sometimes when it comes to expectations, people will try to be what you expect them to be. Amen. And then wind up being something completely different. So you may say, best friend, what is your expectations? Well, I'm 38 years old. And when it comes to me, my expectations as of right now, as of today, as of May 6th, my expectations is someone who's always going to keep me in mind. That means if you are in a grocery store, you got me in your mind. That means that you're always considering me and you're always thinking about what I need and my feelings and, how I would feel about your actions. If you are at an event, I expect for you to keep me in mind. I don't know if I got to, kind of bring that all the way down so you can understand. But once again, I feel like a lot of people do things that they normally wouldn't do when their partner is around, or say things when their partners are not around. So for me, I expect for my partner, just like I will do, for my partner to always maneuver is if I'm in the same room. We definitely do not want that person that act one way, and it's just like your kids, right? So you expect your kids to behave. Some of y'all kids, some of, you know what I'm saying, they be acting different when they're in front of you, and well behaved, and then when they get in front of other people, they're all over the place. So I want my partner to always, I expect him to always act as if I'm in a room. Another expectation of mine is, I expect my partner to have a sense of humor. When I'm thinking of a partner for me, I'm thinking of somebody that, could be potentially my forever, potentially my forever, right? I'm not dating for right now. So when I tell you my expectations, that's how I'm coming at them. So when I'm thinking of my expectations, they gotta have some sense. Baby, I cannot sit there and be around a man that don't laugh at my jokes because I know I'm funny, or a man who don't have no sense of humor. I expect you to have some type of sense of humor, because if you are thinking that I'm going to sign up in a long relationship to death do us part with somebody who can't make me laugh and don't have a sense of humor in his bone, I ain't gonna lie to you, it ain't gonna work, because I expect to laugh and chuckle. They said laughter is for the soul, and I'm not gonna be trapped in a relationship with a person who don't have no sense of humor. Yes. Also, my other big expectation is, I expect in a relationship for my partner to not be, to kind of be like, my expectations is for my man to be a go-getter. And a go-getter meaning in whatever aspect that means for him. That means if he lost his job today, he would figure out in his mind. My expectations for me is I'm not going to stress with a man like that, because he's already thinking 10 steps ahead. He already thought about what if. So my expectations is to be with somebody who is not like for example, let me break this down. I can't be with somebody who is very spontaneous when it comes to like things in his life. I remember I dated this one guy, and he literally quit his job, and he quit his job, that's his business. But when he quit his job, I was like, so what's next? And he was like, I haven't thought about that yet. And that bothered me so much, because my expectation of a man is a man who gathers his thoughts and, kind of figure out the next move, right? How can I expect for my man to lead the household if he's making hasty decisions, and then as his woman, I gotta sit there and just take it, right? And just lean on him that he knows what's next. So I cannot be with a man that is just hasty when it comes to making those decisions without ever thinking about the next decision when it comes to his life. And then I gotta sit there and trust him with my life and my daughter and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be honest with you, my expectations of a man and the expectation of a man for me to sit there and just give you the end all be all, baby, ain't gonna lie, it ain't gonna work. Another expectation I have in my when it comes to dating is for a man to be very mindful, and I think I already said that, be very mindful of my feelings, be mindful of my how he treats me, and how he treats himself. Other than that, like I said, my expectations is, I think I have more standards than expectations. I just expect for a man to obviously love me, respect me. Like I said before, I expect for you to move accordingly when I'm not around. those are my expectations. Like I said, I've been out the dating game for 5 years, so it could be more next year. It could be less next year. I don't know. But those are my expectations. I expect for you to make me laugh. I expect for you to respect me even when I'm not in the room, and I expect for you to be a go-getter. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, I'm putting all my trust in you. You feel me? So that is going to reassure me that I'm doing the right thing. Now, when it comes to standards, the thing I stand on, the thing I put my foot down, the things I will not let up on, is I need a man, my standards when it comes to a man or when it comes to dating is I need someone that is going to know how to lead, right? Now, a lot of men always talk about they want their woman to be submissive. They want their woman to be submissive, right? But I cannot submit to something or someone that don't know how to lead. I don't know how that works. That's like a dog chasing his tail, right? I need to make sure that my standards is I cannot be with a man who doesn't know how to lead. That's that thing I put my foot down on. That's that thing I will not budge on. It's just not gonna work for me 100% if you do not know how to lead. Yeah. And at my big girl age, if you don't know how to lead at a big boy age, I ain't gonna lie to you, I can't really teach you how to lead, baby. That's something that you gotta figure that out on yourself. It's just something you gotta figure out on yourself, for real. Another thing that when it comes to standards is in my big girl age is I need a man that is going to be God-fearing. I mean, you have some men that be like, I ain't scared of nothing. That ain't gonna work for me. That ain't gonna work for me. I need a man to say, I don't fear nothing but God. Ouch. I burned myself. That hurt. I need a man that fear God. He ain't gotta be going to church every single Sunday, even though I would love for him to. Or, we get up to that, but I need a man that fears God. Like, hands down. That is a standard of mine. And in my big girl age, I don't think that's something I'm ever going to budge on when it comes to what I like and what I want and what I desire and what I need for my life. And like I said, once again, we talk about picking a man who's going to be a great leader. Like I said, I cannot follow behind somebody who don't follow behind a person, a good leader. Does that make sense? When I think of like a man for like an ideal man, right? We're talking about the ideal man, right? Whether this man exists or not, I think of a man who is a protector, a provider, a man who is not afraid to profess his love to me, a man who's going to remind me how amazing I am. That man that does stuff without me feeling like I have to ask. I feel like a lot of women, quote unquote, nag is because we feel like we always got to repeat ourselves. So if she's nagging because you missed her birthday, I feel like that is valid. I feel like if she's complaining because you failed to tell her something for like the 5th, 6th time, I feel like that's valid. And I don't know. I just feel like when you're single as long as I am, when I think of dating, I think of it being fun, right? Like dating is not marriage, but it is like the interview stage of marriage, right? Of like what you like, you get the literally it's like you interviewing that person for X amount of months to see whether you like this person or not, or if you're vibing with this person or not, right? And I feel like why make that process hard? when it doesn't have to? Like, why make that process intimidating when it doesn't have to? I feel like life and love and whatever, I feel like that's already complicated. Like when you think of love and you think of there's billions of people in this world and there's a lot of women and there's a lot of men, and not everybody want to get married and not everybody want children and not everybody wants this happily ever after for one reason or another. But the people that do, I'm talking about you. I feel like if a person is meant for you, won't you have time? Like, you know what I'm saying? They will make time. I said this in my last like little relationship video is I don't understand, and not just men, I'm talking about men and women. Why do people say that they want to date, right? And they don't have time to date, right? I just don't get that part. I don't get that part. And I'm not saying if you're a very busy person, you don't want love, right? But I feel like if you know you can give your time, or the time that she is, the person that you are trying to invest in, if you know you cannot give her the time that she wants, then respectfully, you're wasting her time. You're wasting your time. And nobody wants their time to be wasted. So I guess that's like another like expectation in my life. Like I expect for when a man comes into my life that he gives me 100%. And he may be he may be busy. You know, he may be, got a lot of stuff going on. But give me as much time as you can. As I am very busy also, juggling, many things. But I'm going to give you the time that I have, the time that I feel like you deserve. I think it's only fair that if I'm asking for time from you, is that you say you like me, amen, that at least you go ahead and give me what you feel like I deserve. And if giving me 3 hours out of the week is what you feel like I deserve, baby, I ain't gonna lie to you. That ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but I definitely decided, like, because a lot of y'all being y'all big girl age, like I said, I don't know if this really makes sense. I just know this. That figure out what your expectations is and figure out what your standards is. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have an expectation doesn't mean that it should be an ultimate deal breaker. It's just what you expect for your partner to be or do, right? No, I don't want y'all to eat me up in the comments, but like, me, I don't want my man to expect for me to, cook every single day. I wouldn't want my man to expect for me to, I don't really like washing dishes. Like, those are just different things. If I've said this before, I'm a very non-traditional woman. That's what I choose to be. I'm not going to be the woman that could be with a man who wants me to be barefoot and pregnant, or, or to be the only praying woman in the house. I need someone to be able for us when we can make our own traditions, where we can make our own traditions within our family, right? And then we're still teaching our kids that as you get older, you don't have to follow what we did, I feel like every household have those foundations, and then you have, the way you plan on doing it. So that's pretty much what this video is about. Is my expectations and my standards. We were talking about this in my live last night, and it really got me to thinking, what do I really want in a man? And it's very simple. I just want a man that's going to treat me with the love and respect as if I'm sitting right next to him when he makes his decisions, but good or bad. I want a man that's going to have some sense of humor, make me laugh, where things in our lives can be happy and soft. And last but not least, I just want a man who's going to love me for authentically what I am. Is that too much to ask for? I don't think it is. I don't think wanting somebody to respect you and be loyal to you and have fun with you is hard. And if you say that you like me, show me that you like me. That means put in the effort. Because if you're not putting the effort, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to do one of these.